Hey, Rainbow here, and welcome to my channel. If I seem a little down, it's because of the purpose of the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into a few different videos, and I'm going to number them. And the whole thing is going to be the anatomy of an insurance claim after a motorcycle accident. And I'm going to use mine and share as much information as I can, or I think is reasonable or legal with everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you watch the previous video, you see that for the second time in 9 months, I was hit by a car while on my motorcycle while sitting completely still. The first time back on January 31st, a guy just come flying across the road while I was sitting with a blinker on and my high beam on, and I was riding my Indian Scout bobber, and just nailed me head on, but he hit me more towards the driver's side of his front bumper, so I was able to jump off and just barely get clear. I think my left heel kind of hit his windshield and spun me a little bit when he went through. It was a really close call. And then yesterday at about 4:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a guy stopped in a pickup truck because he overshot the entrance of where he was going to go into a development, and just, Ford F-150 puts it in reverse and just jams it, and I was about 15-20 feet behind him, and he just came flying back at me, and I had no time to react. I did have one comment where someone's like, oh, you rear-ended him, or you were following too close, which makes really no sense at all. And what I'm going to point to, so that this is part of the evidence on my part, because the police already found the other driver guilty. He didn't have a license either, and he was cited, and then the owner of the vehicle showed up and he was cited also, which kind of helps my case. But the other thing is that my left shin, it took a pretty bad beating, and I have a really big contusion there that is still swollen. I don't think the bone is broken, but I didn't get it x-rayed because I'm walking on it. But it's pretty swollen, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't get infected, and that it goes down. So the reason why we know I was sitting completely still is the fact that I do have that injury on my shin, because that piece of that injury lines up exactly where my foot peg is. So what happened is, typically when I come to a complete stop, my left foot stays up, my right foot comes down, and I come to a stop sign or I come to a complete stop, normally, most of the time, only with one foot down, and that's my right foot, because I'm going to use the left to put it into first gear or put it up into neutral. In this particular instance, that's exactly what I did. But when I saw him coming at me, I put my left foot down to jump off of the bike to the left, but I didn't have really enough time. So as I was putting my left foot down on the ground, it was planted, and then when he came back and he hit me, that pushed the bike backwards, and that peg just jammed right up against my shin. And that's why it's so heavily contused, is because he drove the bike back at me. If I had rear-ended him, I wouldn't have anything wrong with my shin. I would have my face, helmet, and everything would have been smashed up, and my chest would have went into the handlebars. But in this case, he actually came back and hit me and drove the bike into me. It makes no sense. It's almost impossible for the peg to do that to your shin if you rear end somebody. So anyway, that's not even an issue at all, because he was already cited. So in Florida, when you're in a motor vehicle accident and the police are called, in the town, the city that I live in, they actually have, the police will respond, but they, in addition to the police, they will send out crash investigators. They will take both of your information, and then you get what's called a Florida Driver's Exchange of Information sheet, just like this. And then this sheet right here has the owner's name, address, and the driver's name, address, date of birth, and it also gives their insurance information, their insurance policy number, the VIN, their plate number, and of course they have the same information on me because that's on here. It gives the crash report number, and that's it. So this is kind of great because this information is shared with you directly through the police as an official document, and that makes things easier. So the first thing I did when I got back home is I actually called the other person's insurance company, which in this case was Direct General Insurance Company, told them who I was, told them what happened. I have all the information. I have the policy number. I have the insured and address and everything. So I filed a claim with them, and they're going to assign an adjuster to go look at the bike. Now this morning I had Two Wheels World or Ducati Forza out of Fort Lauderdale, really Pompano, come up and pick up the bike and take the bike back to start doing a damage assessment and taking it apart and seeing what it's going to take to fix it. What I can tell you is right off the bat, because the headlights are smashed, that component alone is probably going to be around $2,500 just for the part. So the possibility of this being under $10,000 in damage is already getting pretty almost impossible, especially with the fact that I have gouged up forks. So by the time we throw all that in there, I don't know what's going to happen with this bike. The insured, I found out, has a minimal policy that only covers $10,000 for damage. That's it. That's all they have is 10 grand. So the most I can get paid from his insurance company is 10,000, which means that my insurance company now is going to have to handle the claim if it's over 10,000, which it probably will be. And then they're going to subrogate. They're going to get with the other insurance company, and the other insurance company is going to then just reimburse the maximum amount that their insured, the culprit here, has. So it pretty much seems like we're going in that direction. I was also surprised. I have Progressive Insurance to find out that I don't have medical coverage. I have medical coverage listed on there, but that's, I guess, for someone that I hit. It's not part of the liability. It's listed as a separate medical, but they said I don't have medical coverage. So I'm going to have to rely on my own health insurance for getting the leg looked at and everything. So that's a surprise. So at this point, the bike is in the shop, back at the dealership. They're going to be putting together an estimate. Within the next few days, the adjuster for the other person's insurance company is going to look at the bike and make a determination of how much it's going to cost to fix it. And I'm assuming this one's fixable. I don't know if they tweak the frame, or who knows, what's going to go on with this particular claim. But more than likely, my adjuster from my insurance company, which I did hand the claim in today, is going to probably end up handling it because of the limit of liability, not liability, but the limit of property damage that the other person has. So apparently in Florida, you can get a minimal insurance policy for your F-150 that covers as little as $10,000 in property damage, which by today's standards is pretty pathetic. I've never carried one at minimal coverage ever like that before in my entire life, and that was kind of a surprise to me. So as things unfold, I will continue to update you on everything. I'll tell you, I'm a little depressed, to be quite honest with you, because I'm coming to realization that I'm going to be about a month or so probably without a motorcycle. It's not going to stop me from going and test riding some, but I'm not going to have my own. And this bike, I've had since February 6th, 2021, and I already have over 13,600 miles on it. I ride it to work every day. I take it out on weekends. I take it out sometimes after work. I just put a lot of miles on it every chance I get an opportunity to do, because I really love this Multistrada V4S, and Ducati makes a great bike. So I will update. This is the first one in a series, but as things unfold, I will do these little short videos like this and update everyone and let you know how things happen. But so far, that's the anatomy, and that's where we stand with this another mishap with me. This is Rainbow. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. I'm going to keep you as informed as I can. Thank you and have a good day.